Hi, friends. Thanks for tuning in to the Mental Fitness Unscripted podcast, where our conversation will encourage your healthy living journey. Inspired by our Team Quadzilla coaching motto, Healthy Living Starts Between Your Ears, we talk about mental fitness in ways that challenge us to think about our thinking regarding topics like habits, leadership, exercise, values, marriage, parenting, and faith. Our hope with this podcast is to sharpen you as we sharpen ourselves to be all we were made to be. So let's dive right into the conversation on this episode of Mental Fitness Unscripted.
Well, we're recording. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. Nice to see you.
Hey, it's great to see you once again. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. So you were telling me you're dealing with some stuff with work. You're kind of plowing through.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why they call it work. It's not like we're playing a game. It's work. And sometimes what I do is difficult. You're as the orchestra conductor, as I like to describe my role. Um, I'm in charge and I'm responsible, but I don't play any of the other instruments. I just have to bring them together and trust that these other instruments are going to play the right song. And then I've got an audience, the customer, whom I can't control at all either. And my hope is that they will applaud, but that's not necessarily the case every time. And so having to deal with some of that is hard, but you know, we do the best we can. And I think for me, one of the biggest tricks is just being careful to separate um, any of that difficult or negative stuff from me as a person or who I am, and not taking it personally, which has always been a struggle for me because I've said before, I'm kind of a recovering performer, if you will, having way too much of my outlook and esteem based upon how I perceive others are receiving me. And in the workplace, that's, surely plays out, and I can become discouraged when that gets really hard. But I'm at least aware of it and working to get better at kind of separating and sorting those things out so that I can still be me and still keep hope and joy and positivity in my outlook despite what is happening around. And others might say, well, geez, that's kind of silly. That I don't have a problem with that at all. But well, that's what I that's me. That's what I've got to worry about. So
Yeah, we all
that's my
carry.
story.
I just wrote down an idea that you gave me, but a couple of thoughts. May I?
Sure. Yep.
I love that you've described yourself as an orchestral leader. Okay, yeah, you're the music director, and you're trying to lead all these others that are contributing, and you've got the same mission in place. You want to make good music, right?
Yep.
You all
Yep.
have the same mission. And I attended a seminar one time, and this gal that was teaching and facilitating the seminar, she said, you're the quarterback. And then she would ask somebody, okay, so what's your job? Well, my job is to get the ball to somebody or to run it myself to get progress. Great. Let's think in terms of a pass. Now, what is your job? Well, my job is to throw the ball to the receiver. Okay, great. Let's go to the receiver side. What is their job? Well, their job is to catch the ball, right? And then she asked the question, she said, how often do we play quarterback and try and go catch the ball for the person?
Right. Yeah, we would like to.
and we really would. We'd love to do that. And I'm reviewing again, and I'm having such a good experience with it right now. I think I left it upstairs, but Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen
Oh
Covey.
yeah.
You know, golden oldie, but um, I, for some reason, I am having a new experience with this. I've been through it
Hmm.
several times, but this time I'm having a new experience with it, and it's just so interesting going back and saying, okay, here's my circle of what did he call it? Oh,
Circle of influence.
yeah, circle of influence. I do have it. It's right here. It's even signed by him.
Oh, nice. Wow, that's cool.
I went to a seminar one time and he gave me the book and signed it. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Boy,
Anyway,
that had to have been a while ago.
it was 1990.
Jeez, a
Long time ago.
century ago.
Yeah, almost. I'm so old. But anyway, yeah, it's the circle of influence. You know, it's the things that I want to influence. It's the things I want to have done. It's the things I want to put together. And I look through it through my glasses and my view and my paradigm. And then I have to step back and say, okay, what is my circle of control?
Hmm.
And it goes back to that orchestra thing. You know, he can't go and play, he or she can't go and play the violin for the violinist. They can't play the cello for the cellist. They can't play the flute for the flautist. They just can't do both.
Yep.
Another seminar I went to, they were talking. Sorry, I'm talking too much. I need to ask you questions, but it's interesting. He said, you know, you can have the finest orchestra, but you put this violinist in this hotel room, and then the second chair in this hotel room, and the cellist. Each person is in their own hotel room, and you're down in the lobby as the orchestra, you know, as the conductor, and you're trying to lead the finest. I mean, they're the best. It's the best orchestra ever, but they're all locked into these little individual rooms, and it's impossible to work together. But
Yeah.
here again, we lock ourselves into a box and say, okay, this is how I see it. And it's back to
Mm.
that circle of influence and the circle of control.
Yeah.
And anyway, that you reminded me of that, and it's only because I've just been
Yeah.
going through it. So
No, that's how it works. You know, we come across conversation and life circumstance that seems to correlate with what we're trying to learn, and I think that's no accident. It's just another way that such learning is reinforced so that we can have it stick, maybe like you said, in a new and fresh way, even though it's old material. And that's fantastic. So,
well, I
yeah.
maybe I've grown up a little bit so that I'm ready for new stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting how we experience into new things.
Mm,
And I know I say that backwards. It's not, you know, new things that give us experience. Well, and they do, but I don't know. I'm just having a fascination. And I, what's funny is I had a situation in my family this week that I absolutely blew it. I just blew it.
mm,
Um, some people said some stuff, and I had a meltdown because it attacked me personally. But they
mm.
didn't, they didn't understand that I was carrying a whole bunch of stuff that I'd already been attacked, and this was just the straw that broke the
Oh,
camel's
right.
back. And I reacted very badly. And
Mm.
man, trying to clean that up, and it's like, man, I know better.
Isn't that the truth?
I know better, and it's been good. I mean, it's helped me mature a little bit, but yeah, I knew better. You know,
Yeah,
what's funny is that logically I knew better, but emotionally I fell apart.
yeah. Isn't it so convicting and maddening, I guess, from my experience in the same type of thing, to have those situations and realize that though we think that we're grown and mature and have high integrity and all this stuff, there is still this extraordinary gap between what we know we're supposed to behave and what the right answers are and and then how we actually
How we
behave.
applied.
And and I just there was some stuff on LinkedIn recently, a post about integrity and what integrity means and how it's defined, and it's that there's no gap between the two, and that everything is aligned with your values and your convictions, and it all sounded great. And I was like, wait a second, nobody here can say then that they have integrity, because I promise you that there is a gap, and it's probably a lot bigger than you think, between what you know to be integrity and how you actually behave all the time. And in a sense, we're deceived in that way. We think we're something more than we actually are. But on the flip side, where I live, is that I can't also be stuck there in wallowing in this gap where, geez, I'm a long ways from having any kind of integrity, or who could possibly trust me or want to do anything that I do, because I know that I live in this terrible gap. And there's just a lot of tension in that idea. So um, I don't know quite how to process all that and to answer it for anybody, but just I think there's health in recognizing that this is a journey and we're all in it somewhere, and just keep doing the best we can.
Yeah, I'm referring back to this book because it's so interesting. I have seen this map. I don't know if you've seen this map before of the seven habits.
Oh yeah, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, this book is on my regular rotation too, so I'm quite familiar. But yeah, it's good.
Well, here's something that's very brand new to me going
Okay,
back through this. Okay. There's seven habits, and I've always viewed it as a checklist.
sure.
Okay. So I do these, and I've got to do these every day, and it's always been this check mark. Yeah, I got that done. Okay. Well, what I'm learning is that the top half is the private victory, and the bottom half is the no, excuse me, the bottom half is the private victory because that's the foundation we build on,
Yeah,
and then the public victory is on top of that. Okay, and you talking about being in that gap and going back and forth. That's really what we're doing all the time. And one thing that I'm learning is that what's the most important habit of the seven habits? Well, it's whichever one you're working on at the time. Okay.
yeah,
If you've got your personal foundation, the first three habits in place, then it's easy to go to the other three habits and have that public victory. Okay.
yeah. The
And
fruit. Yeah,
and if I'm not getting the public victory, I've got to go back to
mm,
it's not this check mark thing because I've got to
yeah,
be the best me. And yes, it's that gap. I feel like we're constantly going back and forth over this gap. Okay, I'm doing really good, so I go over here and have a public victory, and then oh wait, it's kind of off the rails here. So
yes.
anyway,
Go back to the basics.
that
Yeah,
was new to me. I've always viewed it as, well, I've got to do these seven things.
mm,
And, I've even built charts, and I'll check. Yeah, I did that today. Yeah, I did that today.
yeah,
But I'm looking at it much differently now because I've got to have me be okay. I've got to be
yeah.
strong enough that I can reach out and and go create a public victory. Um,
Right. you can't give what you don't already have.
Oh,
And you
so
can
good.
say that a thousand different ways, but it's this idea, right? I mean, if we're not firmly grounded in something that's unshakable, that's always true and always reliable, and we can always come back to that when we slip, then we should not expect any kind of public victory, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
And I think that's profound. And we miss that because I was just writing this morning in my journal. I'm not surprised. This is how it works, right? But just, from where I come from as a person of faith, um, the Bible tells us that when we commit our plans to the Lord, He will guide our steps and help us to find success or fruit in that. And the trouble is that for me, I want to do things my way. And then I wonder why it's so frustrating that I don't have the fruit or the success that I want. And it's the same thing that you're saying. It's because I haven't grounded firmly these foundational things to make me the best I can be and find the fruit. I just happen to believe that foundation comes from uh, a very counterintuitive and radical surrender to God's ways as He tells us in the Bible. And I'm not very good at this, so don't misquote me here. But that's the idea, and I think Covey is leaning on the same thing without getting too much into the faith aspect of it, appealing to a broader audience. But this is the principle, right?
But, yeah, and we've touched on this. I mean, there's a greater power. I don't care who you are, and you cannot believe in God, and I'm fine with that. You and I happen to believe in God and faith and so forth. But there is there are laws, and you just can't break them. And we've talked
Yeah.
about this before.
Yes.
All we do is break ourselves against the law.
Yeah.
That's all we do. I want it my way. I want these things and want these,
Hmm.
but you're absolutely right. I Sometimes we just have to take that step back and say, okay, where where am I? Where am I? And
Yeah.
and it really comes down to trying to find how we, I don't want to say conform. I don't want to say conform. How we practice and exercise the law can be different.
Mm-hmm.
You exercise. You do it much differently than I do, but we both exercise. Okay. Um,
Yep.
I ride bicycles on occasion, but that's not my
Yeah.
jam. Okay.
Yeah.
That's your jam. Okay. And
Yeah.
that's fine. And you see it from that perspective. Um, and for a variety of reasons. I know that you like to run and have done so in the past, but there's been some things in your history that have kind of turned you to the bicycle, okay?
Hmm.
Which is great. Okay? My thing, I love to run, but I like to do it. I, I wear heavy clothes and I wear boots when I run, okay?
Yeah.
I'm weird.
Yeah.
When I go for a walk, I put on a 30-pound pack. When I want to go heavy, I'll add sand to my backpack. It's just really weird. Neither's right or wrong, but the exercise is correct. And that's what I mean
Yeah.
by the principle. Okay.
Yeah.
Exercise, there's, I mean, I'm look up on YouTube if you want to giggle. I think it's called the lion face. It's a facial exercise. I think it's called the
Oh,
lion face.
what?
Funny. So funny. Anyway, go look that up. But see, I would never do that. But my mother actually bought the video back in the 80s. This is from the 80s. It's so
Oh my.
it is. I mean, it's hilarious. And, I would never do that, but my mother approached it that way. So you do bicycles, my mother does Pilates and other stuff. But the point is that we're exercising, right? And so it comes down to that, and that's what Covey teaches is that we've got to be grounded with our values and our character of who we are.
Yeah,
Okay. And then we take those laws and say, okay, how do I practice this law? Now, could I
right.
ride bicycles with you? Yeah, but you'd smoke me, and that's fine.
Hmm.
But you and I could go for a nice ride and have a very enjoyable time. I know that you get together with some of your guys and go rucking. You probably hate it, but I actually look forward to it. And so, it's, yeah, different strokes, I guess is what they call it, right? Different strokes for
Yeah,
different folks.
yeah,
I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I think we have to boil it down to what is the law? What is the principle?
yeah.
And
Those are
then,
the unshakable, unchanging things, but how
right,
we work that out practically can be different according to how each of us is made and our temperaments and our preferences and things like that. But
how we see it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Some
But
people
that
do.
that is the only way that we can logically um, find success or fruit, I think, in whatever it is that we're after, versus deceiving ourselves in just kind of beating our head against the wall, wondering, well, how come I'm not a millionaire yet? Or how come I don't have this? Or how come I didn't do that? And and not looking inward first.
Yeah. Are you keeping the law? I don't
Yeah,
care how you make your money. That's up to you. And that's your jam.
yeah,
But there are laws of making $1 million.
yeah,
It's just a law. It's just a law.
yeah.
Anyway,
Hmm.
I had something else, but it slipped my brain.
Yeah, well, that I did too, and it was from maybe a while back, and I had it marked in my journal, so maybe we'll have to come back to it, but that's okay.
Well, and I promised you that we'd talk about a surprise, and we can do that. I've still got my notes, so
Yeah, okay.
that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's all right. We'll never run short of things to talk about, it seems like, because
well,
there's
just to
our
give
mental fitness is complicated.
there you go. Just to, I'll just share with you something I'm working on right now. I've got a business partner, and he wants to be a better team. And I've tried I'm it's funny that I'm reviewing this book because now it's opening up to me, and I've been really
Mm.
frustrated. I'm doing what I feel like we need to do as a team, and then he's coming back and saying, "Leave me alone. I don't want that stuff, but we've got to be a team."
Oh,
Okay, and it's like, okay, well, I'm trying here, but and so what I'm seeing is that he understands that we need to be a team. But see, I need to go to the habit of I need to have understanding of how he's seeing that. He's just telling me I need to see your numbers. I need to, and I know that his motivation is money.
mm,
It's all about sales and results and money.
mm,
How can we maximize this? And for me on the other side, I want money, sure. All of us do because it does a lot of things. But I derive a lot of satisfaction from helping others and seeing them improve. And that's not something that motivates him. It's
mm,
all about, Did we make the sale? Did we maximize the sale? And it's all about that. And so I've just been thinking through, okay, I need to get deeper into what he sees as a team. And I have my suspicions, but you know what? Those are irrelevant. What I need to do is I need to find out, okay, what's driving this need for a team? Okay. Is it so that you can, and he loves to compete. I mean,
Mm.
this is better. I have a better car. I mean, he loves to just compete, and it's with everybody. It's not just me. It's so funny. And I love him to death. He's a great partner. He's got things that I wish I could put into my life. He's one of these guys that walks into the room and he's just a universe of himself. He just has his own gravitational pull. The whole room
Oh, geez.
just,
Okay. Yeah.
oh, I want to be Mike.
Hmm.
I shouldn't have said his name. Anyway, edit that out, okay?
Like Michael
Anyway,
Jordan, be like Mike.
be like Mike Jordan. Anyway, well, he's like Michael Jordan, okay? Michael Jordan's awesome. He walks in and man,
Yeah.
he's just got his own gravitational pull. And I love that about him. I wish I could do that. I just don't have that. Okay. It's just
Hmm.
not me. And, wish and work on it. I would be very fake if I
Yeah.
tried to act like him.
Right.
I would be very fake if I did business like him because it doesn't match what we've been talking about. It doesn't match my values and my character. Okay.
Right.
And so what I've got to find, and we've been able to do it in the past, but for just something's happened over the years that we meshed kind of. We still have difficulties, but we built something really wonderful. I mean, we've got a wonderful business, but now it's kind of at a stagnant spot, and my suspicions are that he's frustrated with
Mm.
where we're at and that we don't have what we had. And so he wants that team. And I don't know that he has an answer. And I've got to find a way for me to understand what he's thinking and hopefully have him be able to verbalize what he's feeling or what he's wanting.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure he knows. And the same with me. On my side, I want him to benefit, but I'm not sure what I need.
Mm.
Anyway, I think you can see that we need to understand each other, and
Yeah.
like I've got to start this process. I don't know if it'll work or not. I hope it does. That's something I'm working on. I don't know.
Mm.
Does that make sense? I mean, just
Yeah. I
seeing
mean,
things.
you dealing with a relationship, a business relationship like that, and not really understanding where one another is coming from in this instance, I think I I think it's going to require a lot of questions and drilling down, and you're pretty good at that anyway. And so, eh, just asking the question and then following up with why, and then why again and why again until you get drilled down into what's really driving the thing. And maybe the answers will come from that, but I agree. Until you know, have those kind of discussions, it's not likely to get where you want to be.
One of the things that I really admire and wish I had is that he's very intuitive and he's very quick to to get to decisions. I mean, he
Mm.
just and he acts on it. I mean, I wish I was more that way. Just
Mm.
intuitive, go with my gut. This is what we're doing, and then just pull the trigger. I mean, he's very
Yeah.
good he's one of the best I've ever seen in my life at this. I mean,
Mm.
he's just the model of it. And so I have to be careful because he's not going to have a lot of patience in, well, tell me more how you feel. And
Yeah, yeah, right.
you know what I
That's
mean?
fair.
And what I don't want him to feel like I'm working a process on him. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
I really want to know. I really want to understand, and I really want to give him what he wants as a team. I that's important to me because that that brings me great satisfaction, just like a huge check would to him. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, that accomplishing that and helping and being able to say, okay, there's what I can do for you, and understand and have it be really meaningful to him. um, that would be huge for me. But I one of my fears is that, Todd, you're working me, what do you got? you know
Yeah. Yeah.
get to the bottom. What's the
Right.
bottom line?
He's gonna want to cut to the chase and
Yeah,
not do any of the,
yeah. So
yeah, that's tricky.
anyway, I'm kind of negotiating that, and
Yeah.
it it's I love the challenge, I do. And I don't want to call him a project or a challenge. I think it's me, because I'm learning. Okay,
Mm.
got a different person. How do I conform myself to make it work for him?
Yeah.
Even in trying to understand. So yeah.
Well, I
Anyway,
think that's a really healthy perspective, and I'm encouraged by it because it is, um, I feel like if I'm hearing you right, that you're rooted in this um, motivation to understand and to give and to serve in this relationship, because you want to help. And I think if no matter what the circumstance or relationship is, and I'm totally preaching to myself right now, if we can come at it from that point of view, we we stand great chances of getting where we want to go eventually, um, with some unity and clarity in the things that actually matter, right? So, man, that's good. I'm The gears are turning about my
good.
own relationships and how, how to approach them in that kind of way where, yeah, we're very different. We come at this from very different things, but in the end, we kind of want the same thing.
Right.
So how can I help to get us to that spot?
Yeah, in my case, we want a bigger business. Okay. And there are immutable laws of building a big business. There just are.
Yeah.
But his satisfaction comes from a bigger check and
Mm.
money. It's money driven, and that's great. I'm all about money. Don't get me wrong, I'll cash all the checks.
Yeah.
That's not my motivation. My motivation is helping more people make more
Yeah.
money, or changing their lives by the influence that we bring with that business. Them
Right.
transacting with us. I want both of us to be better. And so, we come at it from very different directions, but in the end, we want the same thing. We want a bigger
Yeah.
business. Okay. And you know but I've also got to work with how he thinks and not how I think. I would love to spend 3 or 4 hours and pontificate
Mm.
and
Yeah.
philosophize
Right.
and brainstorm. But like I say, I wish I had more of this in me that he's got, and I kid you not, he's world class at it. He's intuitive. It's here's the thing we're gonna do, and man, he pulls the
Mm.
trigger. I mean, it's within 5 minutes, it's operating already. He's just
Yeah.
very good at
Yeah.
that.
That's not me either.
And me, it's like, okay, wait a minute,
Hmm.
what if I need a contingency plan, can't we analyze this and do a projection? And
Mm.
and he's very much not that way. It's like, no, let's go down that road, and if it doesn't work, he's easily, oh, well, that didn't work. Here's the new thing. Boom,
Yeah.
off and running.
Boy, yeah, that's tough for me too. Yeah.
But I see value in it. And
Hmm.
like I say, he's very intuitive, very good at it, very successful at it. I just wish I could
Yeah.
leave myself more in it. And just,
Hmm.
so anyway,
Nice.
good discussion today. And I'm sorry
Yeah.
I kind of ran over you today again.
No, that we all get our time. It's why we do it. It's all good.
Well, I highly recommend Dr. Stephen Covey's The Seven
Yes.
Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yes.
I, it's like coming back to a brand new book again.
Mm,
For some reason, I've just matured to where I'm getting some new stuff.
yeah. Excellent.
Okay,
Cool.
well, how can I help Chad today?
Um, this is always a good appointment. So yeah, I'm gonna finish today with this approach of, remembering that it's better that to come at things from a point of view of how do I help and um, asking good questions,
Well,
not assuming and
yeah,
that kind of thing.
and we want the same thing.
Yeah. And truthfully, most people want many of the same things, and we just have to get some clarity there. Cool. Well, I look forward to hearing how things work out in your next conversations with your partner. That'd be good.
It'll be fun. All right, well, I'm going to stop the recording here,
Okay.
I think.